Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome, whoever you are, wherever you are, whenever you are. My name is J. Eve Marie, and this is another episode of Sol, aka Student of Life. So, today our topic is control, release it. Now, it's a waste of time and energy to try to control every single aspect of life. Instead, focus your energy on things that actually make an impact. I feel like it's so oftentimes in life we focus our energy and we focus our attentions on things that we think are important in that moment. But when you look back on it, if you even look back on it, you tend to realize that there were so many other things that you were missing at that time, which were key. So, today we're talking about control. A good portion of it is because control can actually be a hindrance. The need to control can be such a huge hindrance when it comes to trying to heal from something. So that is why we're talking about it here today. So, what are some ways that we could try to release control so that we could enjoy our lives a little bit more? Well, here are some things that you'd want to release control of. I would say one of the most important, especially for me, has been releasing the past and releasing past storylines. It's when you have such a need to try to hold on to the idea of how something went down, it can really distract you from getting the message of the lesson and being able to move forward from that. So I feel like that was something that I had to learn personally, and it definitely helped me. Another thing you want to release control of is other people's opinions and perspectives. Ooh, 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 ooh. I was watching a video by, I believe her YouTube handle is Malika, Your Guardian Angel. And in multiple of her videos, she talks about defensiveness. I'm sorry, defenselessness. I hope I'm saying it correctly. And in reality, it's the idea that I am not going to try to defend my right to exist the way that I believe I am existing to you or to anybody else. And you can kind of, in doing that, you're allowing, since we are the primary characters in the story that we are writing, and if everyone else is secondary, they themselves, the secondary characters in our lives, are the primary characters in their own. And we are allowing them that opportunity to write their own story how they want to write it. And they do that with their thoughts and their actions and their opinions. So allow people to have their own opinions and perspective without it defining your storyline if you can, because we do have to remember that we are co-creators in this shared reality. We have to remember that for a fact. However, your internal reality is something that you yourselves create. Okay, so definitely something you want to let go of. The next thing I would have to say is specific circumstances. Now, like, okay, it'd be nice to live in a high rise. It would, with all glass windows. That would be amazing. Yet it is not the current reality for the majority of the population, right? Does that mean that it's impossible? No, it is not impossible for any of us who are not living that way to get there. Yet we have to acknowledge the fact that it is our past actions and the decisions that we made then that brought us to the point where we are now. And once we're able to accept that, it's a good idea to try to maybe make it a goal for what you want to achieve instead of really just focusing on what is now, if that makes any sense. If it makes, I guess what I'm trying to say is you can't control the decisions you made in the past, but you can do differently now. So do differently now so that your future does not look how your present state looks. So in terms of controlling specific circumstances, I would say it's about trying to control the circumstances of the now. I think that more clearly stated. Okay, so the last thing that I have in my notes in terms of examples of what you would want to release control of is timing. And I feel like that really does just tie into specific circumstances. However, just briefly, timing really, really is something that I feel like we can kind of allow to weigh us down when we think about the amount of time that it would take to dedicate, usually to get something done, or how long we've been waiting for something and we think we have so much longer to wait. I really do feel like just allowing ourselves to release that really helps with in being able to be present in the moment and allowing us to really grow in the process. So, what are some things or some ways that we can try to be more present in the moment and try to release control of certain things? Well, one of the tips that I have is it's a good idea to find ways to be content with current circumstances by finding something to be grateful for. So usually when you could find something that you're genuinely grateful for, I'm going to say it again, genuinely grateful for, because you can't lie to yourself. Once you're able to actually acknowledge that thing, it does ease the tension. And what you're doing is you're realigning your focus to something that's benefiting you instead of something that's hindering you. Now, the next tip I have is find peace with the virtue that is progress in the process. So I feel like that really does tie in with releasing control of timing, because again, when we think about how long something will take, it really does take away from being present in the now moment, which is where the learning is happening. That's where you are experiencing things. Because again, we don't hold on to moments, we experience them and then they're fleet, they go away. So that's why it's so important not to get distracted by how long we think something will take. So again, find peace with the virtue that is progress in the process, which is where we grow. The next tip I have is do not compare yourself with someone that is not living your life. I'm going to say it again for the people in the back. Do not compare yourself with someone that is not living your life. So, again, what does this mean? You have no idea what it took someone else to get to where they are in life. You have no idea. You don't know what it was like for them when they came out the womb. You don't know what their childhood was like. You don't know whether they struggled in school, if they went to school at all, if they just made the right decisions at the right time. You have no idea. So it is so important not to compare yourself with anybody that is not you. When you want to compare, you want to be comparing yourself to your past self to see how you have progressed, to see what you can do differently, to try to aim and project your life in a different area, or to grow something that you have been doing and it's been successful. It's important to use a comparison as a tool instead of something that is hurting you. So just kind of tying in with that, self care that actually aligns with what it means for you. So for some people that's playing video games, some people that's a bath, for some people they need to write in their journal, some other people it's a hike. So do something where you are adding value to yourself and be compassionate. Be compassionate, be compassionate, be compassionate. The sweeter you are to yourself, the easier it is to view life in a sweet way. I really do believe that. Because when you're trying to control the things that are happening outside of you, there's a stress that adds so much more of a stress than truly your responsibility of living your own life. So, compassion. And really just try to think about things in terms of what can be done differently. That's the last tip in terms of releasing control. I know I can't control this thing, but I know how this happened. So what can I do differently so in the future I can avoid this? Learn the lesson. What can be done differently? And for a quote, what I have is expect the best, prepare for the rest. Now, I know that I've heard the quote, expect the best, prepare for the worst, but the reality is anything could happen. So be prepared. I say prepare for the rest because I definitely do believe that what you speak is what comes back to you. So I'm not even going to speak that out there. Second, secondly, in terms of prepare for the rest, the universe is infinite. Life is infinite. Possibilities are infinite. So prepare for anything, anything and everything. Expect the best, prepare for the rest. So I hope that this helps whoever reaches it. Or I'm sorry, I hope that this information helps whoever it reaches. Again, the topic today was soul control. Release it. So I wish you all the best on your SOL journey, and I'll see you next time.